Have you ever wondered if AI could replace your job? Not someone else's, not a job on the other side of the world, yours. Every week, a new headline seems to make that fear even bigger. AI replaces customer service workers. AI writes computer code. AI creates art. AI is coming for millions of jobs. If you read enough headlines, it starts to feel like no career is safe. But here's something that might surprise you. Those headlines leave out the most important part of the story because AI isn't replacing jobs the way most people imagine. And once you understand how AI actually changes work, you'll be able to make much better predictions than the headlines ever could. By the end of this video, you'll have a simple way to judge almost any job, including your own, and understand which ones AI is most likely to replace first and which ones are much harder to replace. Let's start with a simple question. If you had to guess, which job do you think AI would replace first? A cashier, a factory worker, a truck driver? Most people assume AI will start with the lowest paying jobs. After all, those jobs often involve repetitive tasks. That sounds logical, but reality is much more surprising. Some of the fastest changing jobs today aren't the lowest paid at all. They're jobs that require years of education and can pay very well. Programmers now use AI to write code. Lawyers use AI to summarize long legal documents in seconds. Marketing teams use AI to generate ideas, write ads, and even create images. Doctors are beginning to use AI systems that help analyze medical scans. Even teachers are using AI to create lesson plans and quizzes. So, what do all these jobs have in common? They're completely different careers, different salaries, different industries, different levels of education, yet AI is changing every one of them. At the same time, many plumbers, electricians, nurses, mechanics, and construction workers still do work that AI struggles to perform. So, what makes one job easier to automate than another? Is it education, income, intelligence, or something else happening? Here's the mistake almost everyone makes. People think AI replaces jobs, but that's not actually what's happening. AI replaces something much smaller, and once you see it, you'll never look at the future of work the same way again. So, what is AI actually replacing? Not jobs, tasks. Think of a job like a toolbox. Inside that toolbox are dozens, even hundreds of different tasks. Take a teacher, for example. Teaching isn't just standing in front of a classroom, it's creating lesson plans, answering emails, writing quizzes, grading assignments, explaining difficult ideas, encouraging struggling students, managing a classroom. AI can already help with some of those tasks. It can draft lesson plans in seconds, generate quizzes, summarize reading materials, even explain a concept in different ways. But can it truly understand a student's frustration, notice they're losing confidence, and inspire them at exactly the right moment? Not in the way a great teacher can. The same pattern appears almost everywhere. A software engineer doesn't only write code, they meet with teammates, understand what customers actually need, solve unexpected problems, review other people's work, make design decisions. AI can generate code remarkably well, but deciding what to build and why to build it still depends heavily on people. So if AI replaces tasks instead of jobs, which tasks are most vulnerable? There are three simple clues. First, digital. If your work already happens almost entirely on a computer, AI has a much easier starting point. Documents, emails, spreadsheets, presentations, reports, computer code, images. These are all digital information. AI doesn't need to learn how to hold a wrench or drive across town. It can work directly with digital content. Second, repetitive. Imagine someone receives hundreds of nearly identical emails every day. The responses are usually the same: answer the question, check an account, send a confirmation. After seeing enough examples, AI becomes surprisingly good at handling those repeated patterns. That's why customer support, scheduling, document summaries, and data entry have changed so quickly. The more predictable the task, the easier it is for AI to assist or sometimes automate it. Third, rule based. Some work follows clear steps. If this happens, do that. If the number's too high, flag it. If the customer says this, respond with that. AI excels when the rules are consistent, but many real world situations don't follow neat instructions. Imagine a plumber arriving at a house. The homeowner says, "The water stopped working after I heard a strange noise." Every home is different, every problem is different. The plumber has to inspect the situation, move through tight spaces, adapt to surprises, and sometimes invent a solution on the spot. That's much harder than reading a spreadsheet. Now, think about a nurse. A patient may be scared, confused, or in pain. Their condition can change minute by minute. Helping them isn't just following a checklist, it requires observation, communication, empathy, judgment. These are things that remain difficult for today's AI and robots. So here's a better way to think about the future. Don't ask, can AI do my job? Ask, which parts of my job are digital, repetitive, and rule based? Those are usually the first tasks to change. Everything else becomes much harder to automate. And that's why two people with completely different careers can experience AI in completely different ways. One person's daily work may change dramatically. Another person's work may simply become a little faster with AI as a helpful tool. The difference isn't the job title, it's the tasks inside the job. Now, here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Throughout history, new technology has often followed the same pattern. People feared it would eliminate work forever. When tractors became common, many believed farming jobs would disappear. When ATMs arrived, people predicted the end of bank tellers. When computers entered offices, many thought paperwork would become fully automated. Some jobs did disappear. Many jobs changed. And entirely new jobs appeared that no one could have imagined before. AI is likely to follow a similar path, but much faster. The biggest change may not be people versus AI. It may be people who use AI versus people who don't. Imagine two graphic designers with the same level of talent. One spends hours creating the first draft from scratch. The other uses AI to generate several ideas in minutes, then improves the best one with their own creativity. Who finishes first? Now imagine two programmers, both know how to code, but one uses AI to explain errors, suggest improvements, and write routine code while they focus on solving bigger problems. They're not being replaced, they're becoming more productive. The same thing is happening in medicine. Doctors can use AI to help detect patterns in medical images, but the doctor still talks to the patient, considers their history, weighs different possibilities, and makes the final decision. The AI becomes an assistant, not a replacement. This is happening in law, marketing, education, engineering, finance, and many other fields. In many cases, AI removes the repetitive parts of the job, giving people more time for the parts that require judgment, creativity, and human connection. Of course, that doesn't mean every worker benefits automatically. If a large part of your work consists of repetitive digital tasks, your role may change significantly. Some companies may need fewer people for those specific tasks. Others may expect the same number of employees to accomplish more. That can feel uncomfortable, but it also creates a new opportunity. The people who understand AI and learn how to use it well often become more valuable than those who avoid it completely. So perhaps the real competition isn't human versus AI, it's becoming human plus AI versus human without AI. That's a very different future from the one many headlines describe. Instead of asking whether AI will replace everyone, a better question is, how can I use AI to make my own work better? That single question shifts the focus from fear to preparation, and that's where the biggest advantage lies. Let's go back to the question we started with. Will AI replace your job? By now, you probably realize that's the wrong question. The better question is, which parts of your job can AI do, and which parts still need a human? That's because almost every job is really a collection of tasks. Some of those tasks are easy to automate, others are incredibly difficult. So here's a simple 4-question checklist you can use to think about almost any career. First, is the work mostly digital? If most of your day happens on a computer, AI has a much easier time helping with or automating parts of it. Second, is it repetitive? If you solve the same type of problem over and over, AI can often learn that pattern. Third, does it follow clear rules? The more predictable the process, the better AI tends to perform. And finally, does the job depend on human qualities like empathy, trust, creativity, physical adaptability, or handling unexpected situations? If the answer is yes, those parts are much harder to replace. Notice something important. Very few jobs are entirely made of only one type of task. Most jobs are a mix. That's why the future of work probably won't be as simple as safe or replaced. Instead, many jobs will evolve. Some tasks will be handled by AI, others will become even more valuable because they're uniquely human. And that leads to one final thought. Every major technology changes the way people work. The printing press changed writing, the steam engine changed manufacturing, the internet changed communication. AI is changing knowledge work, but history also shows something else. The people who adapt usually do better than the people who resist change. That doesn't mean you need to become an AI expert overnight. It means staying curious, learning new tools, and asking how technology can help you solve bigger problems instead of spending time on repetitive ones. Because in the future, your greatest advantage may not be having the perfect job, it may be your ability to keep learning as the world changes. So the next time you see a headline that says AI is replacing jobs, don't stop there. Ask a better question: which tasks are changing and how can I change with them? That's the question that will matter far more in the years ahead. If you enjoyed this video and want clear, hype-free explanations about AI technology and the future of work, consider subscribing because understanding technology is becoming one of the most valuable skills anyone can have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.